All right. Welcome, everybody, to the one and only Sammy's and Beer podcast. It is such a pleasure to have you here on this Thirsty Thursday. Yeah, we've got a good show for you. Thomas claims that he's finally watched the movie. I'm still skeptical, so we'll, maybe have to ask him some questions.
Spoiler alert, it's about firefighters.
That's not really a spoiler. And I don't think you can really spoil a movie that's been out for like 5+ years.
Based off a historical event that took place in the early 2000s?
Yeah, so...
Fair. Yeah.
So, like I said, we'll see if he just maybe read an article on the internet, or if he actually watched the movie. We'll go through and...
I think I have some pretty good insights. I've got a bone to pick with the movie, believe it or not.
Oh.
It's a good one. We gotta get the shots rolling, though.
Yes, we do.
I do fly tomorrow, and my bottle to throttle is 9:30, so I cannot ingest any more alcohol past 9:30. So we gotta roll.
Bottle to throttle?
It's the amount of time before you can stop, like the time you have to stop drinking.
Oh. It's almost like you're...
a slave to the government?
To,
yes.
Blow.
No, but it's like science. I don't know. They told me 12 hours before your flight, this is when you need to stop drinking. And I said, okay. Flight's at 9:30.
Probably just the safest rule. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like an exact science with doing it that way, but it's a safe rule.
And it's a rule, like a written rule that I have to follow. So it's like,
yeah.
Who am I to say no?
Well, I mean, not a free American, apparently.
No, I'm an owned American. We're doing that again.
Doing what again?
Owning Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, good movie. Learned a lot. Yeah, let's get going.
Okay. I will be shooting some Four Roses again. I'm trying to clear out the rest of my random assortment of liquors that I bought.
Smart. I still have the same bottle of Tastes Like Chicken that I need to polish off as well. I'm thinking of hosting a D&D game. The goose one. You're a goose. We are a person that got turned into a goose. You remember when I did that? But this is like actually supposed to be good. That's probably for the best. This one's actually supposed to be good.
Sounds riveting.
We get Egg back on the 12th, so
Sweet.
pretty
It's
happy.
important to you, getting your best friend back.
Mm-hmm. One of my best friends, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, the other one is in another country, also overseas. But
Mm-hmm.
would you like to take your shot first or second tonight?
Second.
Second. That means I have to come up with a shot.
Oh, you don't have one yet?
Not yet.
So
No. I was thinking about that. I was like, I did a lot of prepping, and then I didn't think, oh, no, I have one that I'm going to do, and this is really a good one. So, my shot is going to go out to all of my former coworkers. There was a big gaggle of people that got laid off yesterday. Imagine that's not a fun time. Through no fault of their own. It was just, businesses change and needs change and things like that. And so cheers to them. I hope they all land on their feet and find something better than what they had, because that's what they all deserve, something better. Cheers to you.
Cheers, buddies. That does suck. I've had mine ready since I watched the movie.
That Four Roses could be a really good one. It just little like I said, I didn't mind it. It just got me real fucked up last time I drank it.
It's stronger, isn't it? Like the alcohol percentage on it, it's like in the 50s.
No, it's 45.
That's still more.
But I mean, to a typical 40, I mean that's not a noticeable difference. But I don't know why.
It is.
The last time I drank it, it got me fucking torn up.
Were we together for that? Were we hanging out, or was it you doing stuff?
I don't know. I think it was on the podcast I did it.
Probably. We haven't gotten torn up in a while, actually.
No, I learned my lesson. I only need to get torn up once or twice a year, if that. Because I don't enjoy getting that drunk anymore.
Yeah, it's not that fun.
Like, and once, like I said, once maybe twice a year, I'll get that wild hair up my ass where it's like, let's go, let's tie one off. Let's forget why we do this, and go get hammed. And then for the next 2 days, I'm like, that's why I
don't do this anymore. Well, yeah.
You know. So.
So my shot, unfortunately, I just realized right this second, was going to go out to all wildland firefighters, right? But I did that last week for my guys specifically that were up there being wildland firefighters. But I have another good one. One of my proteges, one of my airmen, because we wear two hats being reservists. We have a civilian job and a military job. He just finished and graduated top of his class at the Pflugerville Fire Academy, which is near Austin. And he's been busting his ass for 6 months, and I'm really proud for him. So, Little Johnson, this one's for you, buddy. You actually know him. He would play games with us.
Little Johnson would?
Yeah, Evan. He was really good at Call of Duty.
Okay.
Yeah. He just graduated. He call him Little Johnson because he's 6'7". His last name's Johnson.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Because we have another Johnson who's just like regular height, like 5'11". And, yeah. So, we're going to go into the movie. We're going to start doing that a little more frequently. I'm just really bad at watching movies, but my schedule is about to change drastically, so I'll be able to actually watch movies. Before we get started, I did want to let you know, Matt, that there was a huge update to Pow World. So expect that in your immediate future. And the server's still running. Still only paying $7 a month for it, so...
Heck yeah.
Locked in the good price. But yeah, so talk about the movie, talk about other movies that I do want to kind of get into soon. Maybe even reviewing some games that we have like nostalgic feelings for. Talk about Nathan Drake, Master Chief, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, Only the Brave. My issue with it is that I don't particularly have a good relationship with addicts. So I had a really hard time feeling for Miles Teller. I love this, like how he comes out of it and he becomes, awesome and badass and great. But that didn't appeal to me whatsoever, the whole being an addict thing.
I don't think it's that he comes out awesome and great.
He has the struggle.
I personally don't think he has the struggle, which we all have. I think they use the drugs just because it's such an easy way to display a struggle, right?
Yeah, and then they put the other struggle.
There are a lot of people who struggle with drugs and alcohol addiction. But I think there's a lot of people that struggle with other addictions that are harder to show, or other issues that you maybe have to battle through. Drinking. I don't know if you were showing drinking.
Sugar, caffeine, nicotine.
Yeah.
Those are just more accepted addictions,
Well, and those are, they don't necessarily have a detrimental effect on your life as, some other things can, such as gambling or
meth.
hookers. Meth is a prime example.
Even porn now. Apparently, that's really bad. There are people that watch porn like 5 or 6 times a day. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. But I think drugs is it's such an easy way to just show a struggle that somebody has in their life that they have to overcome. Even being heavy, being fat, is a struggle that you'd have to overcome, you know. And just from, I think the thing I loved the most about it is that he became selfless.
I would have loved if he was fat now. I would have loved that struggle more than the drug addict one. I would have loved if he was fat, but he never gave up, and then he lost weight because he did it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, but think about
That
his
would've been-
girlfriend like leaving him and being like, "You can't see your kid. You're too fat, fatty. Fuck you. Go lose some weight." Oh my God, you've lost 75 pounds. I find you can be a dad.
Well, they don't get back together, which I loved. They did not love each other. That was not on the table. That wasn't even remotely on the table. I like that. The struggle with them balancing the work-home life, I get, but also being a brat, it was kind of, growing up for us, it was just like, this sucks. Oh well. So that, I don't relate to that. I don't empathize with that struggle very well.
I agree with I find, as somebody who's quit smoking, quit vaping several times, and like quit drinking when I wanted to, I quit smoking weed. I agree with you. Like, the struggle with addiction, I think, is a very mental struggle, and a very I think it's easier to break than what people want to admit, and it's easier to say it's difficult and it's too hard and it's easy to relapse.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's easy to do that. Yes, exactly.
I saw you want to know who says that it's really hard to quit smoking?
Who?
Tobacco companies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know why?
So people
Because
don't
if
quit.
it's hard and then you don't quit, you've got a reason to say that you didn't quit, because it's really fucking hard.
It's
Because if everybody went around and said, "Hey, it's easy to quit smoking," and you went into it with the mindset of, "Hey, this is easy to do, I can quit smoking," and then you did it, they'd lose a lot of fucking money.
I mean, I will admit, so I quit for about a week, and it wasn't because I had a choice. Like, my vape fell into the toilet, and I'm on shift, I couldn't go get it. Right, I couldn't go get another one. I'm in uniform, like, it's just not professional. So I didn't vape for a week and some change. And what you told me with the whole breathing thing, honestly, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't like crazy hard.
No, it's not. Like I said, they make it sound. Everybody wants to make it sound more difficult than what it is. It's not difficult.
It is difficult, but it's not impossible.
It sucks.
Oh yeah, but I've done
There's
way.
a lot of fucking things in life that suck.
I've done way more things that suck more than that.
Exactly.
And I picked it back up again because it helped me de-stress. Right, like that's what I use it for. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I might switch over to the Zen pouches though. Honestly.
I've thought about doing that.
Yeah, I've been looking into it. So.
I always get the knack for stuff like that, especially when I'm drinking. So the fact that I haven't been drinking helps. But then I've been having beers sometimes with a new group of friends, and a couple of them dip, and a couple of them do Zen pouches and stuff. And I'm like, I haven't been dizzy in a while.
The thing with the Zen is they give me heartburn.
Yeah, you said that.
And it's the only thing that's ever given me heartburn in my entire fucking life. So I'm like, what is this feeling?
Heartburn fucking sucks.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I get why there's meds for it.
Now you understand why people think they're having a heart attack.
Yeah, no, I was like, like freaking out. I'm like, oh, that's heartburn. Oh. I don't even get it when I eat. Like, from what I eat, it just, the Zen. I don't know what it is. It's whatever.
I get it if I eat, like, tomato-y based foods. Like,
I've heard
the
that.
really
Very acidic
vinegary or acidic, like spaghetti or chili.
It's all the good foods.
It's really not, though. Like, there's so much better food. Like those pork tacos, those carne asada pork tacos I had last night.
Was there salsa on the
So
tacos?
good. They gave me a side of salsa.
So the most common marinade they did for that taco was probably a mojo, which has oranges in it, orange juice.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just letting you know. It's still acidic. But
Fucking
acid
amazing.
in
Delicious.
cooking is a necessity, in my opinion. Lemon juice and just about goddamn near anything while you're cooking it just makes it better. Lemon juice, vinegar, any of that.
Well, and like it helps break down the meat, helps break down tendons. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it. But we're getting way, way off topic here from the movie.
It's a good movie.
Well, it's a fan-fucking-tastic movie. Like,
It's really
some
sad.
of the underlying scenes. It's horribly sad. Some of the underlying scenes, though, like the bear running on fire through the woods. I mean, it's just such a beautiful and horrific scene all at the same time.
I actually loved
Like-
his belt when he's putting on his belt. The old chief, he's putting on his belt and it has a bear on the buckle and it says bear on it. I love bears almost as much as I love ducks. So for me, I like that.
Was it the actual, like the old chief?
Mhm.
Like not the one that went out firefighting and passed away?
No, yes, that one. The one who saw
No,
the bear.
Okay, yes, okay.
And he called his wife Manda Bear. Like that was
I loved how they argued and fought, him and his wife, and he even straight up said to her, "I don't like fighting with you because you're smarter than I am, and I know you are. That fucking pisses me off."
It's very true. They had really
Like,
good
but it-
marital struggle there.
But it was such an honest thing to say. Like, I don't like fighting with you because I know you're smarter than me.
Yeah, he wasn't saying it to
What
make
a
her feel better
truthful
either.
Thing to say.
Yeah.
No. He was saying it as this frustrates me, and I don't like fighting with you because of this.
It's very true.
And then I'm like, I can understand what my wife goes through then.
Oh, is that it? Wrong move. You were.
Must be horrible.
You could have went the other way. You went this way. This is the choice you made today. Could have went the other way. Okie dokie. Oh, I got to do walkthroughs on houses this weekend. They bore me. They bore me to tears.
I also really enjoyed the family aspect of it. How like he does kind of get back into like he starts getting to see his daughter, but he's also like he hasn't been a dad and he doesn't know all this stuff and he's never gone through it. And like the rallying of friends.
Which is
You
a
know.
real thing that a lot of
I-
movies don't get right.
Yeah, I 100% believe, you know, I mean, and like then she gets a fever and he, you know, they call two moms and two moms come over and
One was a
you know,
nurse.
And one, yeah, I mean, and they don't even have to be nurses. They're just moms.
Yeah.
They know that stuff, you know? And especially when once you've been through it, it's a lot different. I'm sure not to compare it to anything else, but like, you know, kind of probably like your first call as an EMT. Like
Oh.
your first few calls, you're...
Yes, actually, that's a great way to compare it.
And then, you know, like all of a sudden you're doing it and you're like, oh, they got a fever? What? It's 100?
The amount of
That's a mild. That's actually quite a mild fever. You get up to 102, then we'll start being concerned, maybe start doing some Tylenol. But right now their body's just fighting it naturally. We're good.
let them rock.
Don't worry.
Don't bundle them up.
You know?
That's a wives' tale. Don't do that at all.
No.
That's
don't
stupid.
Don't sweat out a.
No, cool them down. But so fun fact. I've been medical for 10 years, right?
Do you want to cool them down? I mean, obviously your body is creating
You
heat
do-
and raising your temperature to fight the bacteria.
You do when they hit a critical temperature. So the temperature of the baby was 104. That was the smart move to bring them down because that could cause brain damage,
Yes.
could cause seizures.
Yes.
So, again, I've been in medicine for over 10 years. Fun fact. 2013 was when I got my license. And then I've done more stuff since then. So my entire adult life, I've always had friends call and text me about their kids with symptoms and pictures and questions. And I give advice, whatever. I'll ask my mom, because obviously my mom knows. But my just thing is like, they call me not to get an answer because they know I'm not a doctor, but they call me to be like, do I need to take my kid to the fucking hospital right now? And a couple of times the answer's been yes. You know, and a lot of the times the answer's been no. Kids are resilient as hell. Like, they'll just fucking rock it. But yeah, that scene was something I could really relate to as an adult, because I've been through that. I've been the person that gets called a lot, because I have experience with pediatrics. I have my pediatrics advanced life support, but that's mainly for cardiac arrest. But I've had plenty of experience with kids and working on kids, and it was a really cool scene to see. Like, you don't have to go to the hospital for everything. Kids usually are going to be fine.
Yes, but I've also been that parent to where you don't know.
Yeah.
To where it's your first time through it, and everything is terrifying.
Oh, I believe it. I think I'm going to be the worst.
You don't know. I always said the worst part about when my kids were sick, especially when they were that young, is they weren't able to vocalize with you what is wrong.
And
like, now, I can have a conversation with them, and I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? Tell me what's going on. And you can tell if they're, well, my head hurts or this and that. It's like, okay, cool, let's deal with this and we can address these problems, or not.
I think the thing too is, well, yes, it's scary. I know I'm going to be just as scared, but I have a kind of a comfort that you maybe didn't have, in that all my kids are going to be on TRICARE. It doesn't cost me any money for me to take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, honestly, and I think it really boils down to, this is my kid, it's not worth the risk. For that 1% chance that I'm wrong, it's not worth the risk. And I totally understand that. I can empathize with it a little bit because of my nephews, and I've sent them to the hospital plenty of times. I get it. I think. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to know, especially, like I said, when they're that young. And I mean, sometimes kids just cry at that age, and it's for no reason. Like, they could have gas and just they got to take a shit, and they just can't push it out. And you don't know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, I would say that's the hardest part, and the scariest part is not knowing. And, you know, and it's nice to have other people to
reassure you.
I mean, and I was talking to my sister, who's a nurse now. She's a pediatric nurse, and she works at a hospital.
Legit nurse.
And she said that her life has been different now that she's got a little girl. You know, and she's like, it's so different dealing with being in a pediatric setting now that I have a child versus before when I wasn't, and like talking to the people who don't have kids and are on the pediatric side. And, you know, like, she said it's just way, way different.
Yeah, duh.
You know. So.
But it's cool. But yes, they nailed the camaraderie. I've been in that situation before, 100%. Like, even now at this job that I have EMS-wise, the same goddamn way. You know, hey, bud, hey, bro, I need help. Like, yeah, don't worry about it.
And they have I love the camaraderie and just it's gotta be.
It was also earned. And I think that's what really sealed the deal, was that he was hated from day one, ruined his shoes, you know, like, but he earned that camaraderie with them.
Yeah.
Just by being there, being a good I hate what I'm about to say, but by being a good wingman, being a good battle buddy, right? Just being that person's partner earns you a lot.
I wouldn't even say it was even he had to be a good partner. He just showed up.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much in life boils down to you showing up.
He did show up.
Showing up for other people, showing up for kids, showing up for friends, just showing up. You don't have to invest money. You don't have to invest anything. You have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing what showing up can do and how much it can build relationships.
I agree. I've been trying to do better at that, but
it's hard. It's hard. Especially when you want to sit around and play video games and, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
I want to be I want to be in my comfort zone. I don't want to be out dealing with this awkwardness. And, you know,
I've had a couple buddies that I've shown up for. Like I've talked about my buddy who had his brain tumor that he removed. He got removed, I think.
I've never heard that story once.
So a good friend of mine, paramedic, active duty, he was having a really bad addiction problem with just anything, nicotine, alcohol, anything he could get his hands on, which is dangerous when you're a paramedic, right? So he was sent to therapy. I showed up to some of that, and then they discovered a brain tumor in his brain. I think it was 3 centimeters. It was pretty big. So they got it removed. He got med boarded, like he's got full medical retirement, right? Like he's set. But he had a brain tumor. After they removed that tumor, all of those addictive personalities just went right out the door. Just completely. So we, of course think like, that's probably what it was. But when the surgery happened, he didn't have anyone. He was active duty. Like I said, he wasn't on great terms with his family. I think his dad did show up a few times, which was great. But he was at BAMC, so I was there all the time. Any chance I had off, I was flying a lot, but I helped him learn how to eat, learn how to walk, learn how to just do a bunch of stuff because he lost those skills. And now he's fine. Got out. He's dating a Disney princess because he lives in Florida. Good guy. Like one of those guys I could say is one of my closest friends. And I haven't talked to him in 2 years maybe, but I know I can call him. Be like, hey man, I'm struggling, and he'll talk me through it. Because I showed up for him.
Yeah, it's amazing what showing up can do.
He was also bald with the Boston accent. I don't know why I like that so much. It was just funny.
You use your Boston buddy.
Yeah, he was so
Boston
cool.
buddy.
And he was super into emo night, like being bald and stuff. We had an emo night party at his house, and he like did the eyeliner and the black nail polish, and fucking hilarious. Yeah.
That's nice.
One of those, just it goes to show like showing up makes a difference, because he had his dad, but his dad was older, and things were tough.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't have those good relationships with parents. Like, there's more than you... I think there's more than you realize when... Like, I don't know if understand how blessed you are to have the relationship that you do with your parents.
I think I am. My issues with my parents are minor, and I get that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I do feel blessed, and I brag about it openly.
You should.
I
should.
Like, people are talking about daddy issues and all this, and I'm like, not me. I love my dad. Like, I fucking love my dad. My mom too.
Well, I think daddy issues is more of a girl thing.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I'm saying.
But it's not too much either. My parents aren't my best friends. My parents are my parents. It's different. I don't know.
They're your roommates.
Technically, legally, for now. But even then, I've been out of the house. Yeah, I'm going now. I've been out the house before. Like, even then, I call my mom every few days. Call my dad once a week.
Well, I've been thinking about. I wanted to talk about this. This is a great segue. I think we should, if we ever create like a soundboard.
Segue. Like, do you remember the old like Sega? Yes. Segway. Yeah, I like it.
Or we could do it like they do in. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your camera. I guess I'm gonna have to buy Matt a camera.
We could do it like they do in. God, why can I think of the fucking Canadian show now?
I definitely wouldn't know it if it's a Canadian show.
It's hockey. It's fucking hilarious. You've seen it.
Oh, Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. Yes.
There's like very little hockey in it. You mean like the To Be Fair?
Yes, To Be Fair. We could do it like the To Be Fair. To Be Fair.
Segway.
And then, segway. And then we sing it afterwards.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll work it out.
Here.
I like it.
I like the button idea though. So somebody says segue, we can just click the button.
With Discord, we could actually do that.
We could. We were segueing, and with you living at home with your parents, have you ever lived on your own.
Oh yeah.
Like 100% by yourself.
Oh yeah.
No roommates.
Oh.
Nobody living with you.
Kind of.
Like you had your own apartment, you had your own house, it was just you there. Maybe a pet.
So, the first time I moved out was for a relationship. When she cheated on me, the few days after that, technically I was by myself.
Few days though.
Well, more than that. It was weeks because I had to sell the house. Not sell the house, but get out of my lease with the house, and so it was a while. And then,
but there was an exit strategy in the process. It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna live by myself.
I don't think I could.
How did you do on your own?
Bad.
At that time? Like,
really bad.
You were with friends the whole time, I bet.
As much as I could be, I had a lot of really good memories tied to that house with her, so I didn't want to be there at all, ever. So I would go out all the time. I worked a few jobs, so I would just be at work longer and longer to avoid going home. But I had a cat, so I had to go home eventually. And
fucking cats.
I love him. He's still here. It's the same cat, same fucking cat.
Cheeto?
No, it's Mr. Kitty.
Oh, Mr. Kitty, that's right.
He's 9.
Your sister.
Yeah, Mr. Kitty's 9. He's been with me through some shit. Cats.
So you get stabbed.
Yeah, cats earned his time off. I think. I actually don't. I don't think I'm taking him with me when I move away. My parents don't want me to.
You motherfucker.
They want to keep Mr. Kitty because he's a very chill cat. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't cuddle you. He's never in your face, and he kills all the bugs in the house. If a bug so much as takes a step on a floor, Mr. Kitty's there and he's killing it. He has killed dozens of scorpions and like wasps and stuff. My parents love him. Like I said, he doesn't do much. He actually doesn't do fucking anything. He's fat, but he's a good cat. I'm very blessed to have it. Who I got from another ex, by the way.
But you're also now talking about leaving him. Like you're talking about how awesome he is, but now leaving him.
Well, leaving him to protect my parents, yes. They want him. I also do want him too, but it's like, okay, am I going to uproot him again? It's a conversation I've been having.
Uproot him again? He's your cat. He goes with you.
He's been uprooted.
And when somebody's your people,
I do.
When you have your people,
he doesn't sleep in my bed.
Whose bed does he sleep in?
My parents.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story then.
My dad likes to sit on the couch and watch TV at night. That's his thing, right? Or like YouTube videos and stuff. And Mr. Kitty, instead of being with me, is on the couch with my dad and sitting next to my dad watching TV as well. Like they all have a routine together.
Oh, so he's left you.
Yeah, he did.
He's broke up with you.
But that's because of the military. I've been gone a lot, so I think he kind of had to. You know what I mean?
He didn't. You chose to let him go. He found his people. He's like, fuck that crazy dude. Old man over here is fucking chill. Let's fucking watch some fucking.
My dad will put treats. My dad claims to hate these cat, like my cat, right? But he's got treats in his pocket. Mr. Kitty's laying there. He'll just. And you hand feed Mr. Kitty. You can put it in his mouth and he'll just eat it up, and then just go back. And he'll just wait. He won't bug you for the more. He'll just wait. He's a good cat.
But I was just thinking about this the other day, and like, I even find it weird sometimes, like sleeping in a bed by myself, and then, you think about some of these, like my grandpa. After my grandma passed, I don't mean to get morbid and down on it or anything like that, but it was stuff that was going through my mind, and like, he's lived with somebody for 60 years. And then to be alone in a house.
No.
Like, and there's a lot of our older generation, or a lot of our old people that go through that. Like, it amazes me how many of them are willing to fight to stay in their home by themselves when they could go to retirement communities. And, like, I know that they might not be the most ideal situations in the world, but just to go be around other people has got to be something.
You got to think it's the what's the word? Sentimental value of the house. It's the house that they've had, right? Not necessarily for your grandpa's case, but and then it's also you don't want to feel like a burden. And you're going to feel like a burden if you go to these communities. You don't want to go and make new friends. I don't want to make new friends now. I'm fucking 29 years old.
Making new friends is so cool, though.
But it's not something that people like to do.
But it should be.
It should be. But
I don't know why. That's what I'm saying is, like, I don't understand why it isn't. Like, why do people not like to make new friends? Like, the group of friends that I've been, like I said, I've been recently making has been fantastic. I met you. You were a new friend. I met you when I was fucking mid-30s.
yeah. I was mid-20s.
You're like 15 years younger than me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm closer to your parents' age than I am yours.
You actually are. That's why your wife and my mom get along really well.
Right? Like, maybe I should see if your parents want to come to my 40th birthday since you and your girlfriend aren't.
They might. If it's
I
camping?
mean, yeah, it is.
Are you kidding me? Your sons are just like my nephews. They would blend right into your family. It's ridiculous, actually, the similarities between our families. You were like the in between son that the in between love child my father never had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I need a dad. I don't have one.
Oh, my dad's a good dad.
I know he is. I mean, he lets you live at home, and that alone right there tells me how good of a dad he is.
Oh, I have so many grievances against my father, but not in the case of who he is.
We could play it.
Like,
Play that game. We could play that game.
I can't. No, I won't. No one's perfect. I'm gonna put that out there.
I don't want to either.
But despite all my grievances, I'm only proud of my dad. That is it. Like, the only emotion that I could say I have for my dad is pride. That he is my dad, and I aspire to be like him all the time.
Yeah.
He sat me down. He said, "Tom, I need you to go enroll in these classes at this university, so I can get you this job." So that day, I enrolled in these classes at this university. Like, I trust him.
Well, so let's talk about some super people here for a second. Tiger Woods, probably the best golfer of all time, right?
Yeah, probably.
Somebody told Tiger Woods what to do from the time he was 3 or 4.
Yeah, his dad.
Venus and Serena Williams, arguably probably the best female tennis players. Not just female, probably the best tennis players.
And the most famous for both ends, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I understand that there's not a comparison between men and women in tennis, but the domination of their sport has been unprecedented by them.
Mm-hmm.
They've been told what to do since the time they were 3 or 4.
But the key factor there is that they did it. They did what they were told to do. Not a lot. Most kids won't do that.
Will most kids not do that, or do the parents not find the right way to tell them what to do?
Probably that. But yeah, it's still the
Because
same result.
I think kids will do what you tell them to do, but you have to tell them the right way. You have to inspire them. You have to give them a reason why they're doing what they're doing. You can't just say, hey, like for you, your dad said, hey, I need you to enroll in these classes for this time, or, you know, you knew why you were doing it, right? It wasn't, he didn't just come in and say, hey, dumbass, go enroll in these classes for this time.
He did. He told me why.
He said, hey, this is the job you can get. This is the path that you need to be on. These are the classes you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll go take those classes because I want to be on this path. I want to get to this point and I want to have this job.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that is. I think he learned that. What you're describing, like what you're saying, I think he learned that very recently. So for me, it's just like, yeah, okay, sounds great.
I sat down with my oldest son, and I straight up asked him. I said, hey, what's your goal? Because if I were to ask you right now, Thomas, what's your goal?
Buy a house.
Buy a house? Well, buying a house is easy. Why haven't you bought a house then?
I don't have enough money to buy a house.
You don't have enough money. Okay. How much money do you need?
A lot.
Okay. Have you written down the steps?
Recently, yes.
Like,
Before.
Do you know how to set a goal and then set applicable sub goals to get you to your goal.
Yes, but not because of my dad, because of my mom.
Okay. And I sat down with my oldest son and I asked him, I was like, what are your goals? And he said, well, I want to place in the top 5 at state wrestling. And I want my football team to place in the top 3 in playoffs. Cool.
Achievable goals.
Those are good. Those are good goals. I like it. I was like, okay, how are we going to achieve these goals? He goes, well, what do you mean? Well, like, if we just kind of set goals and be like, hey, this is what I want to do, you might as well just fucking shit in your hand and hope that they fucking come true. I mean, let's just go wish upon a star and fucking, you know, blow fucking farts into the wind. I mean, we're not accomplishing anything. So let's figure out what we need to. What are our sub goals? What are our things that we can do day in and day out that are going to help us reach our goals?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so then we broke it down, and it was like, well, I need to get stronger. Cool. How are we going to get stronger? Well, I can do push-ups. You're goddamn right. You can do push-ups.
And that's the kind of strength he needs. Not the weightlifting strength, the calisthenic strength. That's the kind of strength he needs.
And I said, okay, how many push-ups do you think you should do a day? I don't know. How many push-ups can you do right now? Like 3. Cool. What do you want to be able to do? 25. Cool. Let's work on getting 25. So you can do what? Can you do 3 at a time? Yep. Cool. So how about we do, I don't know, like 6 sets of 3. Because you can do 3 at a time. That'll be 24 push-ups. Maybe, you know what, on the last set, let's really push ourselves and let's do 1 set of 4. That'll get us to 25. Oh. And I said, maybe in a week, let's readjust it. And maybe we can do 5 push-ups at a time. And then we'll do 5 sets of 5 push-ups. Okay. And then I said, maybe we'll go a couple more weeks and we can do 10 push-ups at a time. So we'll do 3 sets of 10 push-ups. Okay, yeah, let's do that. You know, and I think there's a lot of people that don't set goals for themselves and don't break things down in their life, and you know, like they don't even know what they want, and so they don't know what they're going for. I go to work, I come home, I watch TV, and I go to bed.
And that's their whole life.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Those are fucking NPCs.
They are. Speaking of the push-ups thing, I remember right now when I decided I wanted to be stronger, like your son did. But I was a sophomore in high school. I was just like, I want to be stronger than I am, because I had a natural gift of strength, but it wasn't like insane, right? And I didn't lift weights
I
because
see you being retard strong.
dude, oh, it's there.
For sure see it.
It's still there. But I remember like the moment, and I was like, I'm just gonna do push-ups every day. I'm gonna do 100 push-ups every day. And I would get home from school and I would do like 10, and then 10 turned into 15. But I did 100 over the span of all night, and it got to the point where I could do 100 push-ups in one go, and my physique totally changed. And I was a junior at that point, and I just wore hoodies all the time, right? Like I wore sweaters. I always kind of hid what was behind the curtain. And then I remember the moment, a buddy of mine, Connor, because it was summer, it was Nebraska, it was hot. I took my hoodie off just because I finally shed the shell, and I was in shape. I was looking good, and I didn't even notice it. Right? You're a teenager, you don't really kind of notice those things. And my buddy was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" He verbalized it for me, the kind of transformation that happened. And ever since then, I wore tight shirts. I was kind of nice. I felt good about it, and my strength peaked. That bridged into going to the weight room and meeting Bubbles in the weight room, and us going before school and lifting weights, and just it was a good time. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
Eating Taco Bell and lifting weights, baby.
And it's the little things that you don't think about, because I mean, you said you did. Let's say you did 100 push-ups a day, which. I mean, 100 push-ups a day it's a lot of push-ups.
It's less than you think.
But what I'm saying is what you don't think about is if you do that for 300 days a year, how many push-ups is that?
30,000 push-ups?
30 fucking thousand.
It's true. I never thought of
push-ups.
that. I never missed a day for 3 years straight. I did not miss a day 100 push-ups.
So how many push-ups did you do in 3 years if you did 100 push-ups a day?
A lot. Christmas, Thanksgiving, the whole shebang.
Let's say you missed 65 fucking days. You did 90,000 push-ups in 3 years. That's so many fucking push-ups.
I still do push-ups.
But people don't think of things compounding like that.
That's
Like,
true.
They don't think of how it can just doing a specific amount every day and how much that adds up. Because it does, and it equals something. And like you said, you saw significant changes.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't this miracle, groundbreaking fucking miracle thing that you figured out.
Oh no, it took a year for me to see the changes.
Yeah. But we're such a instant gratification society. You know, the best way I've ever heard it described is you turn the light switch on and the light goes on. Well, I worked out. Why am I fucking still fat? I worked out for a week. Why am I still fat? Now I'm at 2 weeks. I'm still fat. Fuck this. This workout shit doesn't fucking work. Because we're used to instant gratification.
Which is what those fad diets feed off of. Keto, like, that's not great for your body. Keto is not great for you.
I don't know. I've really been considering doing the carnivore diet.
You'll lose weight.
Well, the only reason you lose weight on those diets is they're 100% what they're doing is they're just fucking affecting your calories.
They're affecting your calories,
They're
but they're
just-
affecting the amount of carbs you eat. The carbs are what pack on the pounds, right? But
No, calories are what pack on the pounds. But when you're only allowed to eat so many calories a day, then that's where the effect happens.
it's not when you're allowed
Because-
to eat so many calories, it's how many calories can you eat at that point. When it's just protein, you can't eat a lot. You just can't. You can't stomach it. I'll tell you right now, you'll shred weight, right? You go carnivore, you'll shred it and you'll feel healthy. Your cholesterol will go through the roof, but you'll feel healthy. The minute
I've
carbs
heard
touch
a lot
your
of people that don't do that. Like their cholesterol doesn't because your body is.
depends on the genetics. That's all that
Yeah.
is. But the minute carbs enter your system again,
Yeah, I mean, and everything's about balance and like finding the right balance. You know, like you've got to find something that you can live with day in and day out. Like one small change that I've made is I've started drinking zero fucking soda.
that's a great change, actually. That's
You know.
phenomenal. But I think you need to always make sure, and one thing I always tell anyone when I talk about this kind of stuff, you need to always make sure to indulge in what you want every now and then. Because if not, you're just setting yourself up for failure. We're hardwired
Of
to
course.
want those things, like, for a reason. And you're gonna eat it, whether or not you eat a little bit here and there, or a lot of it at one time, is purely on
Well, and
habits.
the other thing is like as you get older, you start to understand the effect that some of those things have on your body. And like, yeah, I really want to eat ice cream or that piece of chocolate cake or whatever, but I know how I feel afterwards, and how I feel afterwards is not worth the joy that I'm gonna get for 30 seconds while I eat it, or a minute, or whatever it is.
Same could be said about getting crunk one night a year. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. You know.
Well, that's what I said. I gotta forget how it feels to feel shitty the next day. So it doesn't happen 2 weekends in a row.
I will
Might
say,
happen 6 months apart.
drinking has just completely. I'd say 90% of the joy I get from drinking is gone.
But you shouldn't get joy from drinking.
I used to. I think that might have been the problem. You know.
I think we just developed a habit. It
Nope.
wasn't that there was joy from it.
No, there was dopamine, like straight dopamine when I drank.
Well, it was a lot of different factors that brought the dopamine. We were drinking, we were playing video games, we were having fun, we were socializing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things, and I think you and I worked well together because it was a very judgment-free zone.
Yeah, it was. It was bad.
It was just, well, it wasn't though. It was good.
I mean, it was awesome.
Because it didn't lead into anything crazy or anything weird.
Oh,
but
no one
there
got hurt.
You know, just it was just a lot of freedom, and I think we all needed some freedom at that time. You know, there was a lot. It was a stressful point in life with COVID, and which also, how weird is it that like just nobody talks about COVID now? Like, we shut down the fucking world for fucking 2-3 years, and now everybody is just kind of like, yeah, it's gone.
Because it
Like,
happened.
this was a
That's how you deal with
but
stuff.
this was a lab. This was a lab created fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody made it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's being held accountable for it though.
Nope.
Like we don't yell at China. We don't yell at fucking Fauci. We don't fucking yell at anybody who fucking destroyed the world. Like there was a supervillain.
Maybe there was.
There was a supervillain.
You know who took care of it? Jack
America?
Jack Reacher. That's who got it.
Jack Reacher, fucking that's the
know.
worst. Like
I've never actually seen any of his stuff. I don't know. That's just what I
Like,
assume.
that is the worst. Just mainly just because he's played by Tom Cruise.
Nothing on the show.
Wait, no, Jack Reacher is. Oh, you're right. That's the movie. The show, yeah, I do like the show guy.
Which is, I can't take that actor seriously. Do you know why?
Blue Mountain State.
Yeah. I saw that man eat an Oreo out of his ass.
I didn't watch Blue Mountain State, but
It was just at that time the modern day American Pie. That's the best way to describe it. That like it's my generation's American Pie. Fucking hilarious, titties everywhere. Great time.
yeah, can't go wrong with it.
No, not at all.
You can never go wrong with titties.
Definitely not. I
I still like. My wife was giving me shit because I've been trying to watch the TV show Shameless.
that show does not do it for me.
I like the dirtball aspect of it, but there's so much fucking titties and fucking in it, and I don't enjoy it. Like I don't want to see that stuff. Like I think
Wasn't that the like appeal to it?
not for me. And my wife's like, well, you know, you give me shit about my porn books, and then you watch this, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I don't think she should get too much shit for her porn books. I don't know why they're such a phenomenon, but they are. Across all women ever.
The Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, they're really not that.
They're not that. They're not
There's a
super
couple
smutty.
chapters.
Yeah, no.
There's
There's smut
a
in
couple
it.
chapters that get, in my opinion, too far, but it's not terrible.
There's a fairy book out right now that gets really bad, and it's on TikTok and Book Talk and all that stuff. And I see some friends I have post pictures of it. I'm like, oh, you dirty whore! I see what you're
Right.
doing. But
Right?
if that's what they like, I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. Like, if we're gonna judge people for having a porn addiction, like, if you're reading your porn, it's still a porn addiction.
maybe,
That's all I'm saying.
maybe.
How far are you into Lightbringer?
I haven't started Lightbringer.
I thought you said
I'm
you did.
redoing the series, so I started with not Morningstar. The fourth one.
Iron Gold.
Yes, I just restarted. I'm 6 hours into Iron Gold.
How do I know more about this series now than you do?
Okay, let's not go there.
Let's go there. The only way that you know more about the series is because you've actually read them versus I've listened to them.
Who was Cassia's favorite sports team?
I have no idea.
Rookie. I read the first three. I have this thing where I don't like cliffhangers. I hated it. I went through it with Iron Gold. Not Iron Gold. I went through it with Golden Sun. I went through that shit with you. Remember the end of Golden Sun, right? Like you're just like,
Yeah.
fuck. You got to read the next book. I had to wait 2 fucking years to figure out what happened.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a real bad one.
And I'm scared of that.
I feel for you for that one.
I'm scared for that because he did it already. He's already done this shit once, And
Yeah.
2 more books are going to come out. Like, I'm scared.
Well, he's only got. I think Red God is the last.
Oh, thank God.
I think.
Not that I don't like the
That's what he's
story.
alluded to.
The story's amazing. Pierce really knocks it out the park. Women don't like our book, by the way.
Some do.
A lot don't.
There's a lot. There's
That-
a lot in the group
I have
that are women.
I have female friends that have read books, kind of like how your wife reads books, and they don't like it. They don't like the series. It just doesn't do it for them. It's a very male-oriented series, which is fine.
You want to know what I think it is? I think it's too technical for them.
Explain.
I don't think they like the technical aspects of it. Like kind of how I've compared the Fourth Wing and Red Rising is the biggest difference between the two writers is one is very based on the feelings and how they react and how they're feeling about situations, and the other one gets very deep. It doesn't talk about feelings, but it talks about the technical aspect. This is how a razor works. This is how this is working. And that's why a guy's brain, like my brain, for instance, when they're talking about how they're strategizing to fucking eliminate another house in the first book, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is genius. Let's, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and then they're going to do this, and then that's going to lead us to being doing this, and then we're going to fucking destroy them.
It is very linear. It is very
And
linear.
I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that.
And feelings are not
There's no
in
feelings.
it. Nothing.
We're not talking about feelings. Like, we have the bonds, we have the relationships, we have the Severo, and we have the Darrow, where it's like, we've built this, we are together, we are one. We have Mustang, we have, all these characters that we're there, but we're not going super deep into the feelings of those relationships and the insecurities, and the insecurities are of the decisions that we're making while doing our job, while making decisions, while building the battle of the fucking millions of people that are losing their lives because of the decisions that we're making, things along those lines. Those are the insecurities I have. Not, is he mad at me because I wore a red tunic to a supper
I mean,
versus wearing the purple one that he really likes.
I guess that's fair.
And that is the difference that I've seen between the two books.
Yeah, it is. One is more
Gets
emotional.
very heavy into emotions, and one gets very heavy into the technical aspect and the logic and the thought process.
And if you're looking for either thing, you're going to be wanting. You're going to be left wanting in the series.
Mm-hmm. But I think they're so similar.
Oh, no, they are so
fucking
similar. Yes.
Like, they are like fucking carbon copies of each other. Just
Which they're all based on
One-
Dune.
they're one is based off of dragons, which is badass. I loved the Fourth Wing for the mind connection with
The
Terran
brutality of it.
and the brutality of it, and like just how Terran is like, dragons don't fucking answer to people. Fuck you. Don't fucking order me anywhere. And you know what? My fucking hatchling doesn't answer to you either. She's gonna go wherever the fuck she wants. And if you have something to say about it, I'm gonna fucking eat you.
Which is true. It's a giant fucking magic lizard. Like, what are you going to do
Right?
against a giant magic lizard? We don't have guns yet, or even if we did, like, we don't have guns big enough. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Which is also kind of a weird thing. Like, why do we not have guns big enough?
it takes a while.
We're humans. Like,
It takes a
we've
while.
learned how to ride dragons, and we have all this magic shit. Like,
Well,
nobody
the
can kill a
humans
fucking
don't
dragon
have
at this point.
magic. The dragons have magic. Humans don't have magic. That's like
Well,
the
they
whole-
do. They pull
Well-
the magic from the ground, which is the fucking
The whole thing.
abominations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, abomination. I'm in the abomination part of.
I haven't read Iron Flame yet. I'm not.
You haven't read? Oh, I've read Iron Flame too.
No.
I listened to it, but
Alrighty, buddy.
sorry, I felt like I talked a lot this whole podcast.
I think we do need to. No, it wasn't you. I'm just tired, and I'm gonna be more tired, but it's fine.
Okay.
I think do need to actually do a beat for beat from Red Rising and the Fourth Wing. I think that would be really interesting. I
Yeah.
do want a female's opinion during that. So we might have to find one, but I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe I'll buy the book for Kay and let her,
Cool.
or Egg.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't know. I don't think Kay has enough of a... Or not Kay. I don't think Egg has enough of a female perspective.
Actually, you're right. I asked Egg about what she feels about smut and like female writing and all that, and she hates it. She hates it.
Yeah, yeah. Kay's... Egg wants to be too much of a guy.
Yeah. She doesn't want to be a guy. I'm damn near certain.
It's not that she wants to be a guy. She has too much of a personality of a guy.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
So, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's
Huh.
just I want a different opinion. And there's guys that have a female personality. Maybe we should get Gabe to read
Oh, yes.
The Fourth Wing, and then we could get his opinion, because I bet he would have...
His significant other loves girly smut books, so he hates them
Oh,
as a rule.
you shouldn't hate things that your significant other loves.
Yeah, because then you're just gonna hate yourself eventually.
Right? All right. Well, this is the my friend.
All right, Sinatra, chill out.
That's Jim Morrison by The Doors, which I saw an April Fool's joke that said Jim Morrison was found in Argentina.
Okay.
He's the lead singer of The Doors.
I don't even.
No.
Are they related to the Windows? I don't.
No, you should. You'd recognize The Doors. Maybe you've heard some of their songs. I don't know.
Probably
I
not.
listen to their songs.
Probably not. Because I'm not super old.
You don't have to, everybody goes through that phase where they listen to older music, but all right. Any final words before we call it an evening?
Make sure you lock your doors tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure all windows
sure
are
you
locked
lock
shut. And stay safe out there. Eclipse is coming.
It is. Fun fact, this is episode 51 for us. So next episode is 52, which equals 1 year. 1 year
Damn.
podcast. So, thought I'd throw that out there for you. But we appreciate you all. Go ahead.
I guess we just gotta get super fucked up next week.
Yeah. On your whatever day that you can make it work.
Not Thursday. I'll tell you what right now.
So, all right. Well, we appreciate y'all so much for stopping by. This has been the Sammy's and Beer podcast. We appreciate everybody who is here. If you want to chat with me, I am live on Twitch. If you want to chat with Thomas, he is live on YouTube. Otherwise, we are on Apple Podcasts later on. Did you get a new tattoo?
That's been there
Has it?
for
I've never noticed
for
that
like
before.
6 years, my boy.
All right. Well. All right. We appreciate y'all so much. One doodle plus one doodle equals...
Toodles.